death, abused, neglected, animals of every type, trash dumping.
Yeah.
All these events are true, they're factual, but they don't fully define what we know as the Dowdy Ferry Road. Being a resident of Dowdy Ferry, I've come to know and realize the beauty and tranquility of Dowdy Ferry. But as an integral part of Dallas history and Texas history, Dowdy Ferry represents a glowing example of wilderness meeting industry and civilization.
All same country.
To fully appreciate the beauty of this area, we must begin by knowing where it started. Allison Dowdy, spelled with an A, born in 1826, 20 years old. He decided to fight in the Mexican-American War and came to Texas. There he served a year, and once finished with his enlistment into the Army, he came and decided to stay in Texas. One of three families that settled in the Dowdy Ferry area. In fact, those three families owned all the property from south of Fair Park to Hutchins.
Wow.
Three families.
That's a
In
lot.
1848, he married his first wife. He had three wives. But he married his first wife in 1848. And then in 1854, he was granted his license for his ferry. This ferry became what was then and now known as Dowdy's Ferry. It was the southernmost ferry crossing the Trinity south of Dallas. Southernmost. It was located, just as Dowdy Ferry is. Dowdy Ferry crosses what was known as the Texas National Highway. At the time when Texas was a republic, there was a national highway that ran from just around where Dowdy Ferry exists all the way up into Oklahoma. The ferry rates, they were adopted by Dallas County. These weren't, ferry rates were adopted by the county, and the ferries, various ferries that were over the Trinity, such as a man on foot, would cost you a nickel. You brought your horse, it would cost you a dime. If you had a one-horse wagon, it was 25 cents. A four-horse wagon, you paid $1 to cross the ferry. This picture is a wood etching of one of the ferries that crossed the Trinity. But in 1880, the ferry closed. 8 years later, the first permanent bridge was installed. And then in 1986, an historical marker was placed at the bridge.
It's no longer there.
That marker is no longer there. But before the placement of the marker, even before the ferry was closed, Dowdy and his neighbors began bringing this wilderness to the general public. This progress has continued for decades as more and more individuals and companies come to realize the tranquility and the serenity found in this wilderness and seclusion, as we know of Dowdy Ferry Road. The Dallas Fishing and Hunting Club. It was founded in 1885 by 5 families. One of those families was Dowdy, was Allison Dowdy, Samuel J. Adams. Samuel Adams was another, and Captain W.H. Gaston of Gaston Avenue fame was one of the 3 families, or one of the 5 families. Those 3 families were one of the 5 families that founded what lies beyond that fence in 1885. The lake itself was originally named Dowdy's Club Lake. The Hunting and Fishing Club was reputed to be the first country club in the state of Texas.
Yeah, right.
Ray Wiley Hubbard is a member of the Dallas Hunting and Fishing Club. Also on Dowdy Ferry Road is Whittle Feed Store. It's been owned and operated by the Whittle family for over 32 years. It's rated on Yelp and a number of the other reviews as one of the most friendliest feed and seed stores in the Metroplex. Metro Lawn Care, owned and operated by the Eastep family for over 40 years. They find the beauty of and the convenience of Dowdy Ferry Road to work very well with their operation. Boyd D. Neighbors, a national company in demolition, resides on Dowdy Ferry Road. They've been in business for over 30 years. Palmer's Fireworks, owned and operated for over 24 years. You can appreciate Palmer's Fireworks until it gets near New Year's or gets near July the 4th. Palmer's Fireworks is the only fireworks stand in Dallas County where you can come and buy and shoot your fireworks legally within the county. FedEx Ground at Dowdy Ferry Road and I-45 is this hub served by FedEx Ground. Their trucks use Dowdy Ferry Road as a passageway, as a cut, going from their hub, their terminal, to I-20. As you've seen, Dowdy Ferry Road truly represents how wilderness, industry, and civilization coexist. From the pioneer who began the ferry, to the ferry itself, and now today, this 3-mile stretch of road can be seen as much more than what it was and what it's reported to be. Death, animals, trash. Yeah, they've all occurred here, just as they can occur in any neighborhood in the city. But here on Dowdy Ferry, wilderness still exists and coexists as each day passes.